Pete, Sky News understands there's simply been a problem with the Prime Minister's plane. What that problem is, of course, we haven't been told, but he's been left in Queensland for an additional day. Of course, this meeting was supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen every fortnight, but the leaders actually haven't met or haven't spoken through the National Cabinet process for around a month now. Basically, it was pushed out because of all the budget processes, but that has now been further delayed until sometime next week. An exact date hasn't been set. Many people would ask if this is simply a conference call, why can't he sit down in a room somewhere else, perhaps with his laptop, and begin the process that way? Sky News also understands it needed to be a secure facility, effectively ruling that out. Normally, at this point in time, we'd bring up an agenda and tell you exactly what is going to be discussed today. Instead, we can show you what should have been discussed today. We'll bring up that graphic on the screen now. Getting Aussies home is top of the list. It is the complete priority right now for the Australian government. They were to discuss plans to bring Aussies home through the Howard Springs facility. That's just south of Darwin. There's also suggestion of an increased cap. Lately, that has gone from 4,000 to 6,000. There are suggestions that will go even further. This is what the Prime Minister had to say yesterday about the Howard Springs facility.
There have been extensive preparations undertaken on that matter, and we're in the final stages of concluding those arrangements.
Now, Pete, around 398,000 Australians have returned home since March, desperate to get back to our shores. We understand there are still around 29,000 other Australians still trying to get back. The Howard Springs facility, well, that can cater for around 3,500 people who could be processed through there on a rotation basis. It's worth also noting, Pete, that if the Prime Minister was to come back to Sydney to do this meeting, it would effectively rule him out from being able to return to Queensland to continue campaigning for the rest of the state election. Pete.